I would open our session by reading his backstory, and that is sort of like pre-gaming, although it seems like Ro's been doing a little pre-gaming. And that'll get us into our final character to create for the week for the campaign that we're plotting. And afterwards, we're going to be making a dungeon and going over what goes into a dungeon. What is the concept? What are some design tips? Ro says, I designed a pump for a copper mine in Chile. They assembled it wrong and too much pressure built up, then boom! 7.7 mil down the drain. Yep. Oh, goodness. But you know what, Ro? There's only so much you can do. You know, if the engineering was correct, all the blueprints were fine. Well, kind of sucks, but yep. You know, I was in Peru and we were talking about mining and all the other stuff that goes on there, because there's a lot of mining that goes on in the Andes Mountains. And not all of it is legal or above board or hardly environmentally friendly. That's some dangerous stuff. And and if an accident like that happened, even with a properly designed pump, then whew. All right, so we have some nice audio in the background here. Bubonic saying Gloomstalker is from Xanathar's. So yeah, you will not remember us making a Gloomstalker from the regular PHB. The character's name is Shahir El Shakir, level 8 human ranger / Gloomstalker. Born in the wastes far north of City, in the hilly wastes, Shahir got lost when he was 9. Shahir got lost when he was 9. Okay. We're going to have to work on some punctuation here. He wandered to the waste alone until found by a nomad group of dervish wanderers driven from their home in the far north. Adopting their ways, he lost his innate fear of foreigners. They wandered all of Riha, staying clear of the locals, until one day they came upon a caravan under attack by a strange force of foreign mages. The Dervish clan wanted to avoid this conflict until they were happened upon by a group of these mages on patrol. Hard-pressed to keep these mages from attacking and capturing them, they had no qualms about unleashing their own magics. This was a shock to, insert name here, who didn't know that these people who he had lived with could use such devastating magics. When the magic battle was over, only 3 of his clan survived, and all but one of the caravaneers had died. When the next caravan came upon the slaughter, it was his clan that was blamed for it, and they were chased off. Losing? 1-0, losing. Otherwise your spelling is slipping. Mnemonic devices. Losing faith in all others of the clan, and you know I'm not digging on you, Bubonic. This is fun. We're all in for the story. Your grammar and punctuation can be fixed later. That's a minor thing. I make a lot of these same mistakes. You've seen me type on stream. Jeez. Losing faith in all others, one of the clan, a kindly old man who knew only nature magic and the way of survival. Taking him under his wings, literally, he was a fallen celestial, Shahir learned how to hunt the enemies of the desert peoples, orcs, goblins, and giants, and he learned this well. The two traveled together for many years until his mentor died in a raid on a group of sand rock giants. This drove, insert name here, slightly crazy, and he slaughtered all of the giants, men, women, and children. He spared not one. Finally, his anger and fear sated, he calmed down and saw what he had done, and he didn't like it one bit. Since he was alone now, he sought out others, and he remembered the caravans that passed through the region and the little oasis they oftentimes came to and stopped at. Making his way there, he offered his services to the first caravan that didn't appear to be full of bad peoples. He offered his skill of knowing the local orcs and goblins and how to pass through their territory with minimal fuss. He always kept the scalp of one of the giants he killed as a dissuader to the weaker desert monsters and proof that he knew what he was doing. He doesn't speak much towards others, just grunting and pointing and always expecting them to follow. Well, Bubonic, I get the gist of your story. Again, it needs some punctuation and some spelling tweaks here and there, especially to help make it flow. And come across as I think the type of narrative that you want it to be. I'm definitely getting what you want, like where you're going and the scene that you're trying to set. It would just be trying to I don't know, tweak it, present it a little bit more smoothly. And if this was the first draft, because I completely get it, you said you created the character in 20 minutes, and honestly, I wish I could do something like that because. Heck, how long have I been making characters now, and it takes us about an hour to get through one. uh, though, it's on our Discord, by the way. If anyone else wants to read this, if you want to give Bubonic some tips, tricks, ask some questions, constructive criticism, as long as it's constructive. And not that we've had a problem with that in our channel, because all of you you've been behaving, you've been you've been so awesome, you've been productive, and you've offered suggestions. So hey, maybe we can all get together and help him tweak this here and there. Ah, Dark Wolf, your father's actually from Chile. That reminds me, I miss ceviche. Oh my gosh, do I miss ceviche. That was really good stuff. A coast city called Vina del Mar. I once went when I was younger. One of the traits, yeah, that outsiders don't speak to others. Yeah, I got that. You've been to Viva del Mar. I worked out of Santiago for a year. It's just down the highway. Welcome back, Mr. Grimm. Okay. Let's go over to our dice roller here. Oh, it was nice. Not sure if he'll ever go back. His family has all moved up to the U.S. now. That's what's dinner on Sunday, Romonger. You're going to have some ceviche. If you have ceviche, man, oh, you better share some pictures. Otherwise, I'm going to be an angry fat dude. By the way, this broadcast is brought to you by the Guild of Calamitous Intent. Bonus points to any of you if you know what that is from, without having to look it up. Ooh, I know that you all might be strong with Google Foo, but if you intrinsically know what the Guild of Calamitous Intent is, then more power to you. Oh, okay, so you don't really go for the crunch of the characters, but you go way more for the fluff, Bubonic. I gotcha. You have to go to the fish market, need some fresh... Yeah, you do. And then you got to make that leche de tigre. Well, let's put that real quick to a G, and then save that for the default. There we go. Ha-ha! Yeah-ha-ha! You fixed me! They're a band? Who? What are you talking about, Mr. Grimm? You should have taken pictures of your smoked brisket this evening. Oh, Clark. Oh, Lordy, you're making me hungry. I actually, so I made a ravioli, and I had a nice sauce. I kind of went for like a spicy umami. So I had mushrooms, and I made sure to, the mushrooms as they were packed, they had this like water in it. I kept that in there, and I was boiling it off to reduce it down. And I added some gochujang. I added a little bit of not teriyaki. I added a little bit of soy sauce, and a little bit of red wine. And then I added a tomato base to it with some beef stock. And oh, mamma mia! This is the Italian language too. It's not just the words. You got to get into the hand motions. You got to. Hey, what's the matter, you? Pardon. Oh, the Guild of Calamitous Intent? No, they are not a band, Mr. Grimm. Grimm with an M. Bubonic says, I have some homemade cream of potato soup with cheese and broccoli and ham mixed into it. So good. And shepherd's pie. Oh, are we really? Do we want to do a D&D? Like, should we just really kind of move over to IRL or social eating here? Because we're all this good food. Oh, you are amazing, everyone. Your ploy of making my wife's favorite dish to get her to come home early didn't work. There's a certain scene from a Family Guy episode, especially since we're talking about role-playing, Romonger, that might work for you. Oh, yeah, so this is referring, because this is the logo from the Venture Brothers. Yep. You got it. And I wasn't aware that there was a band that named themselves. While we're having this conversation, let me roll here. Oh, goodness. So, 50 means male. There is one female in the party. And, I mean, that's not always uncommon. A lot... While it is changing, the demographics of D&D are changing. It is still rather male-oriented, as are game stores. And many of your parties might end up to be what are affectionately called sausage parties. We'll just say that that's a food reference because we're talking about dinners. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need any kind of a balance between races or genders or classes. Everyone could play a cleric, and you can still have a lot of fun. It's just interesting that things have worked out this way. Oh, but no bonus points because you looked it up. We need the dice to be nice tonight. You're a poet and didn't even know it, Bubonic One. Mr. Grimm says, "Wow, I went high last night and got shot low by the end." Oh, we want a gnome or an elf. All right, well, Bubonic, let's delve into this. I mean, you all continue talking and everything. I'll interact with you. Uh-oh, down to brass tacks. What do I think about home bases and vehicles in D&D? This is going to sound like a cop-out answer, but it completely depends on the campaign. Usually vehicles are a little better because it allows the story to continue to progress. Everyone just hops aboard the danger wagon and they proceed to the next adventure together. Operating out of a home base, you can run campaigns and completely legitimate good campaigns out of a home base, though the travel aspect won't be there as much. And even if you do travel a lot, it'll probably be trivialized to teleports, or you set up a teleportation circle or a word of recall at your home base. And so that kind of thing removes travel for better or worse from a campaign. Whereas if you want that, we're going to hit the road and go on an adventure, vehicles do come in handy. So in, kind of a generic concept of what a campaign is and does, I would prefer vehicles over a home base. But home bases can be a nice treasure. It could be something that even the PCs can stray from. I don't know, let's say that they conquer a fort on the frontier. Well, they along the way find a competent manager, and maybe they'll come back there. But why stop there when they're pushing into the frontier, into enemy territory? They've captured something else. Yep, wagon or a boat, Bubonic. Airships are very expensive in fantasy worlds. Yes, they are. The group you're playing with is 4 women and only 2 guys. We were thinking airship, a home airship. If you have something that large, heck, Shield has a helipad or like a heli aircraft carrier. That's up to you and your DM. There are things like upkeep costs. There are things like keeping it maintained, depending on how real your DM wants to make the campaign setting. So just realize that it will take upkeep. It will take you acquiring such a thing, and it'll keep you defending it from other people who want to take it from you by sometimes any means necessary. Some people might outright shoot at your ship. Some people might want to stealth aboard or bribe a crewman to do something or another. So like anything, it's a risk, and you could earn a reward, or you could face drastic losses with this. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Bubonic, it's shaping up to be kind of a steampunk world. Yeah, steam magic punk. Alright, so we have our gender. Let's roll a 10 for our race. We are number 4, and are we sub-race 1 or 2? We are sub-race 1. Our alignment's going to be 2 percentile dies to reflect each of the axes of alignment. 99 and 77. We have another evil character. Ooh. This could be very interesting for what we want to do in regards for a campaign, a party, something along those lines. Now our level is going to be a percentile. Whoops. Well, okay, that's fine. We're going to need another percentile rolled anyway. You know, I did this last night too. Anyway, this is going to be a 4. And then we're going to determine if they're using any feats. A 16, no feats. At level 4, we're going to take an ASI or an ability score increase, and that'll be that. All right. Next up is our class, and that is this shiny golden D12 button. A 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another monk. Ooh, this could be fun. A monk of the monk of 2. We made elemental fueled steam engine. Nothing like using living beings as fuel. Yeah, so that depends, Ro. You know, do the elementals feel feelings? Are they sentient? Are they just a magical fuel source? Would you feel bad if you rendered a ghost down into propulsion? Too many monks on the dance floor. Well, we see ourselves as the good guys. That's right, because no one wakes up saying, I'm evil. Well, some people do, and you definitely stay away from those people. But many more do not have that realization. I'm only kind of messing with you, Ro. It sounds like you guys are having fun. You are trying to chase down a murderer, and hopefully it's not because you feel he's muscling in on your territory. Our background is a 13. We're going to roll it. Our background is going to be number 3. And lastly, well, actually, we can go down to the next page here and start filling in some things. So 91 to 100 was evil, and a 77 almost lands us in chaotic evil. Here, though, we have a neutral evil character. Monk number 2 is Way of the Four Elements. We're just going to do it this way. There we go. This is race number 4, which is human. And so in this case, do we want the +1 to all stats or a variant start? I often, so this is going to come down to, do we want a generalist or do we want a tad bit more of a specialist for a human? We'll type in human and then, well, let's determine. Oh no, actually, we did make this to the. We did make this to the, I'm sorry, sub 1 and 2. It's either the +1 to all stats or the variant start. And so... So this is going to be the +1 to all. That's fine. So just a generally balanced, little higher tier among everything. So we don't get the feed or anything. We are this kind of a human. We are a specialist in being general. No, the bounty on the butcher is really high. Oh, I bet, considering the crimes that person was facing. If there are anyone that's new here and don't know what Romonger's talking about, he had kind of a noir sequence in his last game. They ended up chasing... They chased a really bad guy out of a red light district. Who was a necromancer. He was doing some really bad stuff to ladies who weren't deserving of it, arguably. And so he has a big bounty on his head and is kind of set up seemingly as like a short-term villain for Ro. Ro and the gang. Evil avatar, generalist, yeah. If the money's there, we don't care. Our company motto. Followed by if you don't pay well, if you don't pay well, if you don't pay, we'll pacify your town. Okay, so that might be kind of getting into like lawful evil territory, Romonger. You may be evil if. I don't have a Jeff Foxworthy setup for that, but if you threaten to level a town that didn't pay you, you might be evil. Hey, this guy could be from the evil invading Imperium. Kind of, right? Oh, gosh. You know, I had a character in a Vampire the Masquerade game, and he, I don't. Maybe I'll talk about that in the third session. But anyway, yeah, just remind me to talk about Assamite. Okay, where did we leave off? We left off on silliness. That's what. No silliness here. No fun allowed. We're role players. This is all about crunch, about numbers, about math, and who can maximize their damage per round. None of this fun and storytelling garbage. Get out of here. You're out of here. Oh, criminal spy. This is going to be a cool party, and especially about political intrigue. Oh my gosh, we couldn't... If we sat down and tried to actually conceive a party like this in a completely, like, in a forced way, right? You know, we're sitting down, we're making this happen. It would be so much more difficult. And instead, just by typing in one word at a time, are you finding yourself connecting all these other dots? Or, you know, seeing the constellations, so to speak? Or are you finding yourself saying, oh, I know where this is going, or all of a sudden ideas start popping up because we're making reality out of nothingness? Oh, if you're talking about the word that I use, Mr. Grimm, that is a vampire clan. I typed it in the chat there for you to, if you're curious about it. Yeah, and I understand how it can sound, and my story would be walking that PG-13 line. I could definitely keep it family friendly, but I mean, when we talk about vampires and stuff, it's those stories tend to suck. Waka waka. No, I know, Grim. We're good. Don't worry about it. So, as a criminal or spy, we have some kind of an origin or other category. That's a D8. We're going to roll that. And this turns up to be a 6. Now we have our 2D8 personality traits here. 3 and 8. Und then we have the 3 6s. 1, 2 und 3. 3, 6 und 6. And then we only have 3 more things to fill in randomly. What did we have? We had a human. Humans start at 4 foot 8 inches. They get 2d10 extra. 8. So this person is 4 foot 16 inches. We're going to take this same number that we just rolled, 8, and multiply it by 2d4 and add that to the base weight. 8 times 8. That's 16, right? Oh, am I hearing, did we, Oh, yeah, there's a couple things we're playing through here. Cavern of Lost Souls. Nah, come on. I want to go back to... Oh, actually. We'll do an industrial shipyard, right? This will be a little bit more thematic to what we're doing here. Alrighty. Lastly, turn that back to 1D100. 16, not a child prodigy, but we do have another young adult. And as a human, well, we can very well use the chart that's over here. Young adult is 16 to 25. That's a 10-year spread. Hit it. 7. There we go. Cool. We have... I got the math jokes. You grew up working in factories, so you know people. Yeah, that's definitely a very, or it tends to be out on the shop floor a little bit more direct a way to have some humor. Okay, we don't need the random roller anymore. Goodbye. Now we do need our backgrounds. First, charlatan, and here's criminal. In particular, which kind of criminal are we? We are a 6. We are a hired killer. Ooh. I cannot see or hear the phrase, everyone's a little bit blank sometimes without thinking of Avenue Q. That sounds familiar, Dark Wolf, but that reference is escaping me. Mr. Grimm knows some good math pickup lines, so that's if you have an interest in a nerd. That's a special nerd in your life. 3 personality trait is the first thing I do in a new place is note the locations of everything valuable. I did not spell that correctly. Or where such things could be hidden. And number 8, I blow up at the slightest insult. Ooh. His ideal is 3, charity. Now, while this is normally affiliated with good, that we can still work this into evil. I steal from the wealthy so that I can help people in need. This is, so he's a young adult human. He's a hired killer. This could very well be the case where he has been conditioned or brainwashed into thinking that he is actually the hero. You know, he is this noble, bright act of vengeance or of equality, of providing opportunity by taking out other people who are suppressors, and so he brings the loot back after making these kills to his masters, and he is firmly of the belief that he is providing charity to those who need it. He's a smooth criminal, only after he shaves Romonger. Or if he's too young of an adult and he hasn't quite gotten his beard making ability yet, then he's smooth as well. There's a song called "Everyone's a Little Bit Racist." Oh, is that like a? I don't know if that's like a Weird Al parody or something. Need is a very loose term. that could very well be as well. Romonger. What's his bond? Actually, that's a good question. If he's in jail, what's his bond? Someone I loved died because of... Oh, looks like that's a misspelling. But because of a mistake I made. that will never happen again. Or again, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Lastly, the flaw, because we're all flawed, is number 6. An innocent person is in prison for a crime that I committed. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Bubonic's getting into this character here. And so with this, we can go criminal or we can have a variant of a spy. Although your capabilities are not much different from those of a burglar or smuggler, you learned and practiced them in a very different context as an espionage agent. You might have been an officially sanctioned agent of the Crown, or perhaps you sold your secrets you uncovered to the highest bidder. I almost want to say that we can make him a spy, because by now, if we're saying that we want to run a political campaign, the player who's playing this character is going to be, at their core, they may be a neutral evil character. That was going to require that the player plays this character intelligently, especially if he is going to be a spy and has this evil spirit, this evil nature within him. That doesn't mean that you're neutral evil, that you can't buy a lollipop for the little orphan on the corner as you're passing by. In fact, you may very well do that. It might actually make you feel good and benevolent, right? Because everyone is beneath you, and especially if you're helping people in need. However, the ends justify the means, if that makes sense. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, it's Clark. I'm definitely getting a spy vibe from this main character. It's fun when the group starts to discover spies in the background. Yeah. In the story that we're going to create around this, this is going to be something else. Heck, I don't know. I might be able to... I don't want to say anything just yet, but for sure, because we created 6 different countries, there is going to be ways for us to return to this area to go over more adventures and some more characters and fill it out. That being said, did any of you catch the Easter egg that I used in the character description that we made from last night? That is my clue for you. I'll give some bonus EXP if someone catches the Easter egg. With neutral evil, the ends always justify the means. Yeah, that's that is a solid assertion, Bubonic. I'll have to trust your word on that, Mr. Grimm. I'm not doing the calculations right now in my noggin. Okay, so there's our spy. We have just about everything down that we need. We're going to get... Oh, yeah, that was... Yep, I'm back. That was a weird crash. I don't know. I didn't fidget with anything. Very weird indeed. Alright, well, hey, let's get back to it, right? We get deception and stealth. What a party this is. Oh my gosh. We get one type of gaming set and thieves' tools. Equipment. A crowbar. We'll just say a cowl. That's dark common clothes, including a hood and a belt pouch with 15 gold. We got from somewhere, right? Okay, and so our specialty is in being a hired killer, and our background feature is criminal contact. You have a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Specifically, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you. Bubonic says, truth be told, neutral good can also be on the same side of the coin with that statement. To the ends justify the means. Yeah, just, two different roads arriving at the same point, huh? Extius acta probat. The outcome justifies the deed. The Frumentari motto, a.k.a. Rome's secret police. Ooh, cool reference, bro. So, there you go. You guys can file that away as a cool historical fact. Thanks for sharing that. All right. We're making really good progress. Let's go up to races. Oh, actually, we don't even really need to, right? It's human. We get +1 to everything. And I think that's about it. Hang on, let me see. Ability score. Yeah, we get 30 speed. And we can rate common and 1 extra language of our choice, which will probably be infernal given the region. But we can also go with something like halfling or gnome. That could be interesting too. Yep, so that is human. Bink. Good progress, even though OBS crashed, right? Classes, monk. Let's take this down here. So we have 4d8s as hit die. 4d8s. No armor proficiency. We do get weapons as simple and short swords. We also get one type of artisans tools or one type of musical instrument. Okay, so this is what I want to open up to you all. We're building this neutral evil monk spy / assassin. Do we want to give him a set of artisans tools of some kind? And remember, those are tools that allow you to do something. Navigator's tools, brewer's supplies, medicinal stuff, carpentry tools, leatherworking tools, jeweler's tools. Or do we want to give him an instrument of some kind in which he's proficient? We have strength and dex as our saves. And then we get to choose 2 from acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Well, we have stealth. Don't have to worry about that. Yeah, 40K's Inquisition is the same motto. I play Inquisition-based armies. We are so good, we're bad. Yes. Rowmonger, if you haven't, I think you'd really enjoy playing Dark Heresy. That's the 40K tabletop game where you play as acolytes in the Inquisition. I ran Dark Heresy for years, and it was so much fun, especially for being a 40K nerd. Oh, so good. Some were probably neutral good, and those were the secret police. Most spy organizations believe in such things. And then we get to the we're so good, we're bad. Ro is saying forger's tools. Pardon. Let's take a look real quick. So forgery kit is its own thing, as is a disguise kit. We have alchemist supplies, brewer supplies, calligrapher supplies, carpenter's tools, cartographer's tools, cobbler's tools, cook's utensils, glass blower tools, jeweler's tools, leatherworker's tools, masons, painters, potters, smiths, tinkers, weavers, and wood carvers. Oh, you prefer Rogue Trader to Dark Heresy? I understand that. We had a kind of a bleed over event into some Rogue Trader, and we also played Rogue Trader a little bit after the Acolytes finally got into their ascended status. And Deathwatch, says Ro. Have I ever played Diplomacy? I have not. It sounds like I should have. It sounds familiar. Are you talking about that Steve Jackson game where you can use force, bribery, or blackmail in order to coerce people around a city, Clark? Oh, King, the 3-5 players aren't playing tonight. You need to get the whip out and go over there. Well, King, you can get into a feisty mood. As you can see here, we have a neutral evil monk, Way of the Four Elements, who's a spy / hired killer. And also we're talking about 40k Inquisition and purging Xeno scum as being a part of the Death Watch. So everyone's in kind of a feisty mood. Okay, so we still need a set of Artisans Tools for this person, or if we don't go Artisan Tools, what would be an instrument he plays? Now, keep in mind, here's our other monk, and we could probably relate these two monks in some kind of a way. He ended up taking the dulcimer as a sitar, and we also gave the dulcimer or sitar to Voiceless. We could possibly do the same here, or give him another type of instrument if you'd like. But that's something to think about. We need to give him an instrument or an artisan tool. Uh-oh. Grimm's going on the warpath here. Okay, so he's getting 125 from the plains, and Grimm is going into the forest. Oh, okay, not yet. Now, the game is played on a map, usually of pre-World War I Europe, and the point of the game is to take over 18 of the possible territories on the map. It's extremely useful in learning about politics. I'll have to remember that. You said it's called Diplomacy? It sounds familiar. Like, I, as a professional fat guy, should be aware of something like this. Yeah, we need more evil characters, says King. Go Eldar, you backwater Imperium scum. That's Bubonic's sort of random non-committal 40k comment. It's the simplistic version of Axis and Allies. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Also, we had some skills to give him. Let's go back up to Monk. He's a killer. He kills people. He already has stealth. That's fine. I think I saw something for an insight, and I saw something for acrobatics, was it? I saw an insight. Nah, I didn't see anyone say something for a second skill. If you watch Matt Colville ever on YouTube, you may have heard of it before. No, not offhand. Yeah, Mr. Grimm, I don't know. That might depend on your EXP, or it could have detected like a false input, and it put you on that 5-minute timer. Yeah, you might still be on the 5-minute timer, Grim. I just hold off on it for a couple of minutes. I don't know. Maybe we should give him a knowledge. Athletics. Or, yeah, there's athletics. History or religion. I don't know, maybe religion sounds good. Foiled again. Ah, king. Small woodland creatures are your bane. Spies need to know how to read people. Yeah, I'm fine with insight. That's not a problem at all, Ro. That's a very good. That's good insight. Hopefully, it's not like last night. King, all I do is die. Short sword or any simple weapon. Let's give him. We can give him a stylized short sword of some kind. There are many, Oriental or monk weapons which we can that we can have be statted off of a short sword. Dungeoneer's pack or an explorer's pack. If so, the Dungeoneer's pack offers more things to help you climb. It has a crowbar. He already has one. It gives you a hammer. I think that might still be more appropriate. $10 darts, and again, we can reflavor those as shuriken or something along those lines. Really no race features here, so don't have to worry about those. Class, we get martial arts. Oop. We get key. Step of the Wind. We get unarmored movement as well. We get an extra 10 feet, meaning we're moving at 40. Whoop, 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 whoop. We will also get deflect missiles. And slow fall at 4. Oh yeah, so King, yeah, so a short sword, we can. Yeah, that's fine. So the guitar is a reflavored short sword by stat. Ro goes into a dungeon. Oh no, you triggered a flame jet. And does Ro succeed? 5 and a 2, you get advantage, but unfortunately, Ro-monger gets roasted. Yeah, please, I won't play with fire again. Ro got roasted. Bubonic's pulling from the deck. You got a knight. Hey, cool. Please, Tom Cruise, use your witchcraft on me. Help me, Oprah. Give him a Kusarigama. Well, so we can if we want to dip into his coin purse here a little bit. The invisible fire burns. What race is this one? Another halfling? No, this is a fulling. It's a human. Right here. Okay, yeah, extra attack's not until 5th level. Alright. Dexterity is important. Wisdom is important. Charisma, for who we are, is also going to be important. He should probably have a decent strength. Maybe we give him average strength, a little higher constitution. I don't know, but if we taught him religion. So maybe we do that. 10, and then 8 strength. There we go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. What do you all think of that stat spread? Grim goes to the plains. Is it a rabbit? Nay, nay. It's a goblin. 10 or greater. Rolls 3 and a 1. Oh, no. Looks like the plains is going to be mean again tonight. Yeah. Rose says, or a cane sword. Oh, yeah. So like a sort of like a machete or something. Yeah, I'll add in the ones bubonic. Do you all think that that's a good stat spread for the type of monk/assassin that we're building? Bubonic says yes. Dex Wisdom. Hey, Bobicus. Dex Wiz, sure. Okay. And King says that looks good. That's 3. All right. I thought you were talking about like a sugar cane, like a machete, right? Okay, yeah. If he specializes on super precision and stealth. That's kind of his thing, yeah. Alright, this is a 9. This is a 16. This is an 11. This is a 13. This is a 15. And this is a 14. Get rid of these. Now, we also get to give him 1 ability score increase. I suppose we could just put it into Dex. We could also round up two of his other scores with it, and make him a little bit more balanced. What do you think we should do with his ability score increase? Remember, that's a +2 to 1 stat, or a +1 to 2 stats. A giant cross that doubles as a gun. Yeah, because it's full of mercy. Very good, Mr. Grimm. No, a cloak covering literally dozens of single-shot derringers. Original characters, no steel. Bubonic is suggesting a 10 strength and a 12 con. Yeah, I mean, that would kind of shore up weaknesses and give him more hit points. It's Clark is agreeing with Bubonic, and Ro is also agreeing with... by the way, It's Clark is using the carrot, the notorious carrot from earlier. So Clark is agreeing with Bubonic. Rose agreeing with Clark, who's agreeing with Bubonic. No, I know where that's from, Mr. Grimm. But yes, if you want... Okay, there you go. Romonger has it. All right, so strength is going up to a 10, and con is going up to a 12 with our ASI. So final totals. Bump. There it is. Dink, 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 dink. Fourth level proficiency is +2, and our marts here are a D4. If any of you just joined us, the Qatar is a rebranded short sword. How did you not recognize my description of Meryl, Mr. Grimm? I'm high on cold medicine, just like the last 2 nights, smiley face. Another character who targets the wealthy and the nobility. Ah. Yeah, Grim, hopefully you're getting over this. Being sick. Hey, here's an anime reference. Being human, having your health. Anyone get that one? Surprisingly dangerous even with a 10 strength. Yes. Yes. go wisdom 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, int 1, 1, 1, 1, 3 in religion. Athletics is a 0. It's not negative, at least, right? And then we have the deception, which is charisma. That's going to be a 4, 2, 2, and 2. All right. Me too. You have magic tomorrow? And no flaws. He needs a dadao. I'm not sure what that weapon is. Rose says, I'm not too much into anime. If my wife didn't force me to watch it, I wouldn't know. Which series does she like? Or rather, Ro, have you found a series that you ended up liking that she showed you that you may not have otherwise been a part of, or you would have exposed yourself to? Okay, so that is the full first level. And then we have 4 levels of a +1 con, so that's going to put us at 12. And then we have 15, because that's half +1 over 3 levels. And so 27 hoops. There we go. Armor class is 10 plus Dex plus Wiz because of monks. That is their unarmored defense. And our initiative is going to be a +3. A dadao is a Chinese machete. Okay. He already has a guitar for face stabs. A war fan? It's not that he can't wield them. It's just that we've sort of filled in what the auto build is going to give this character. Now we're going to scroll down just a wee little bit. Let's fill this in here. Plus wisdom modifier, that is going to be a 2, so 12. So 14 Wiz plus 4. Whoop. Monk with 4 key points. There we go. And our monastic tradition was Wave the 4 Elements. We get Disciple of the Elements. When you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you learn magical disciplines that harness the power of the 4 elements. A discipline requires you to spend key points each time you use it. You know the Elemental Attunement discipline and one other elemental discipline of your choice, which are detailed in the Elemental Discipline section below. You learn 1 additional element discipline of your choice at 6th, 11th... Okay, so we're not worried about that just yet. We're going to get 2, and one of them is given to us. Alright, this is on how you cast an elemental spell for purposes of what we're doing here. Not too worried about this. If you want, I can go back and read it, or I can put it up on the screen for you. Oh, so this is our auto, the one that we get here. I thought Gate was cool. Bleach was okay for a while. Got really weird. Yeah. Speaking of weird, Evangelion and I love Tanks of the Panzer one. Oh, Girls und Panzer? Yeah, that's a good one. Evangelion is that's my personal favorite. Number 1 of my top 10. And I will tell you all, face to face, or as much as Twitch allows, all of my top 10 anime have had me shed manly tears. Because I was so moved by the story. all of my top 10 anime have had me messed up at some point in time. And if any of you are curious, I can provide you a link, or not a link. I don't have something like my anime list or anything set up, but I can provide my top 10 titles if any of you are curious. Now, do we want to theme this monk along a particular element? Because they can use the 4, and there's nothing wrong with having them be open to those. But do we want this to... do we want him to be themed, or do we just want to pick one of these as, he can do this because it'll probably help him kill people? We have... there are some that require certain levels that we can't take. But for instance, we can take Water Whip. There's a lot of water in the area. You can spend 2 key points as a bonus action to create a whip of water that shoves and pulls a creature to unbalance it. A creature you can see that is within 30 feet of you must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d10 bludgeoning damage, plus an extra 1d10 bludgeoning damage for each additional key point you spend. You can either knock it prone or pull it up to 25 feet closer to you. That's pretty good. The Phantom of Mesomasca is there inside Discord. Dark Wolf has been on a Phantom kick. Well, kind of musicals, but especially Phantom kick in general. Hey, Ababacus. What should we give him? He can do Rush of Gale Spirits. You can spend 2 key points to cast Gust of Wind. A Sweeping Cinder Strike. You can spend 2 key points to cast Burning Hands. See, using fire on boats as what he isn't necessarily a bad thing. Shape the Flowing River. As an action, you can spend 1 key point to choose an area of ice or water no larger than 30 feet on a side within 120 feet of you. You can change water to ice within the area or vice versa, and you can shape the ice in any manner you choose. You only watch a bridge series yourself? That's how I know DBZ is the best anime. Yeah, Mr. Grimm, that quote. Oh gosh. Mass tieflings are life. Let's give him Fists of Unbroken Air. That sounds pretty cool. There we go. And that is that, because it just unlocks the ability to do more things within that. Oh, okay. Coming down. Just not on my keyboard, alright, bud? We made a truce. You don't land my keyboard, and I continue to feed you. Bubonic says, I personally consider Familiar of Zero to be one of the best animes. That Familiar of Zero, I read that as a manga, so I imagine that the anime is just as funny. And it's an interesting concept, too. Alright, we are almost finished with this character. And then we'll take a quick break here. Looks like my cat is, he wants to take a nap right in front of the keyboard. We need to give him a proficiency in a set of gaming tools. And we have a couple different options here. Dice set, dragon chess, playing cards, or 3 dragon ante. Which is, 3 dragon ante is kind of a poker derivative. In fact, there's a standalone game. You can order 3 dragon ante through Wizards and play it. So it's a little bit meta, right? It's a game that you could play inside of a game of D&D because it exists. King says, I'm willing to help every masked tiefling. I've got a hammer and nail sitting by for each of them so their masks won't fall off. And Bobicus, no, I don't want to flip. I don't want to flip him off the table. Oh, how could you forget Initial D? I watched that one on my own. Your consciousness or your thoughts must have been drifting, Romonger. We'll give him a playing card set. That might be kind of fun and thematic. You've seen many anime, too many. My favorite recent one is Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. I haven't heard of that one. Mr. Grimm says I really like... well, unless Hog Horizon is is a spin-off. I presume you mean Log Horizon. And Elastic String works fine, King. Romonger says Sten locks and loads. Hey, that's true, King. You got to remember, Sten isn't a dwarf anymore. Sten is a very pretty female tiefling kind of artificer, tinkerer kind of a character. Bobicus, there are 0 tieflings in this party. Though, on a similar note, we do need to give our character here 1 extra language. I don't know if this is the type of party that would already know each other like the one last week was for the Tianese racket. These are probably ones that are going to have to get kind of roped in together because they each have their mutual goals that will line up. We have a Lightfoot halfling, a half-elf, a high elf, and a human. And we do have halflings are prominent in the area, gnomes are prominent in the area, and to a small extent we do have some elves and others. Here it is. Oh wait, that was from last night. That was our racial worksheet. Dragonborn and half-orcs, so maybe he knows Draconic. Dragonborn and half-orcs, elves, gnomes, tieflings, halflings, gnomes, humans, gnomes, halflings, humans, tieflings. The area that we made is pretty much King's antithesis. Too many gnomes. This is me scratching the cat's belly here. What adventure do you give to a group of lone conmen intent on bilking nobles of their valuables? If you just think suicide them, honestly. Yeah, something like that could be an opportunity. We'll come up with something. Or the A-Team? Yeah, hey, Bubonic. The Thunderbolts, if we want to go Marvel. Dark Wolf, King only likes 2 races. Aberrants and the Undead. We'll send them to... Oh, gosh. Alright, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get up and get a stretch and get something to drink here. I think I'm about done with this this feisty cherry Diet Coke. So, here we go into the short rest. Bum-ba-da-da. We'll pause the music. And I'll mute the mic and I'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. Just a short rest.